now that you know the differences between a main clause and a subordinate clause, let me give you the 3 types of subordinate clauses. A clause is divided into 2 types, main clause or the principal clause and a subordinate clause. And a subordinate clause can be further classified into a noun clause, an adjective clause, and an adverb clause. I'm sure these terms are definitely not new. A noun, an adjective, and an adverb. They are definitely not new to you, okay? But still, let me give an example to make you understand it, to give you a better understanding of what a noun clause is, right? I'm going to give you an example before I start explaining what a noun clause is. On weekends, we can do whatever we want, right? So a noun clause is nothing but it is a dependent clause that acts as a noun. For example, on weekends, we can do whatever we want. So where does your noun follow? Your noun exactly falls on this part. We can do whatever we want, right? Instead of having a noun, we have here a noun clause. So it's a dependent clause. Again I say, though it's a noun, it's a dependent clause which can replace a noun. Let's go on to the adjective clause. And I would give you an example of an adjective clause. I know the manager who was here last week. Now, what is an adjective? We all know that an adjective is something that qualifies a noun, right? Now, what is a noun here? The manager is a noun. Am I right? So, what is an adjective? An adjective is something which gives more information about the noun. So, I know that he is the manager and I am giving you more information that the manager was the person who was here the last week, right? So, I know the manager is a principal clause, it's a main clause. Who was here last week is the adjective clause. It gives you more information about the manager who was here last week. Let's go on to the adverb clause and let me begin with an example. If it had rained, the match would have stopped. So this is my example. And what is an adverb clause? An adverb clause is a group of words that function as an adverb. Okay, again an adverb clause is something which replaces an adverb. What is an adverb? An adverb is something which gives more information about a verb. So if it had rained, the match would have stopped, which means we see that if it had rained, the match would have stopped. So what is the noun here? Okay, rain. Let me say that we have two clauses. If it had rained, the match would have stopped. Now tell me which is the principal clause here. Yes, the match would have stopped is the principal. It's the main clause. It can stand on its own. It is definitely not dependent. Here we have the subordinate clause. If it had rained. That gives more meaning to the verb. So these are the three types of subordinate clauses. A noun clause, which is being replaced by a noun. An adjective clause that is replaced by an adjective, or that which gives more information about the noun. And then comes the adverb clause, which is replaced by an adverb.